Hey guys, this is Mike Acko. Doing this video for my friend Fabian. I made the mistake of going a little deep with him a couple weeks ago at a lunch date in Calgary, and he asked if I'd make this video for about for men and vulnerability. And this is probably my 40th take, and it's not easy. It doesn't get any easier. Every time I try to make the video, my voice still cracks, and I guess I'm really being vulnerable right now. So I'm going to do this as short a form as possible and try to touch on the points that I think are important. So I'd experienced a bunch of really crappy things from, basically a very young age right up until a few years ago. Lots of death in my life. I lost my mom and my sister in a car accident when I was 19 after just becoming elected as the youngest councillor in Canada. When I was 19 years old, I was a really responsible young man right up to the age of 19 until I lost my mom and my sister. And I started leading a pretty poor lifestyle after that, very unhealthy, blacked out, drunk a couple times a week from the age of 19 till I was about 34. The last 4 or 5 years leading up to the age of 34, things got worse. More people dying in my life. I lost my sister in a pool accident that I really blame myself for. I lost my brother to a quad accident not long after that, and all these things just contributed to my downward spiral and just leading a more poor lifestyle. So what I wanted to talk about was not dealing with things properly. We think we have stuff dealt with and figured out, and when in fact we don't have it figured out at all. And if you're living a life and you feel like something's missing, or it's not your best life, you think there's a better life. If you're admiring someone else's life, there's something missing. If you think there's something missing, there probably is, and it could be due to past traumas that weren't dealt with properly. I didn't deal with any of mine properly. I felt like I had to be strong. I had to be the pillar. I had to be the responsible one. I had to deal with the deaths and the funerals firsthand, and then deal with other family members that didn't do so well after. But at the same time, drinking all the time and masking my own feelings and my own depression, and not really knowing that I was doing that, because I never really gave myself a chance to sober up long enough to really feel what was wrong in life. So it took me a long time to realize that to have a wake-up call that there was more for me out there than the life I was living, even though I'd talked myself into it being okay. I deserved this because I'd made money, I'd sold businesses, I'd had everyone taken care of. But really I was blaming myself for first my sister's death with my mom, because I convinced her to go on that trip with her that when I lost them. When I sold my business in 2014, I took a celebratory trip to Kelowna. I rented a mansion, a big house, and had some immediate family over. My sister joined a couple days after, and then her second night there, we woke up in the morning and she was floating in the pool, lifeless. So I left her out at the pool that night and went to bed, and woke up in the morning to that horribleness, and really blamed myself for that. And those next 4 years were pretty hard on myself. I was subconsciously trying to kill myself and give my fortune away because I didn't deserve it if she couldn't have it, kind of thing. Having that wake-up call one day, just kind of looking both sides of me and realizing I was at the same basement with the same people around the same table, and that there had to be more to life than this, and maybe it was time to start taking care of my kids properly and my relationships with my spouse and my father and my nation and other people. You know, I checked myself into a treatment center where I was able to see a psychologist 3 or 4 times a week. I was about 2.5 weeks in when I had my breakthrough with him. We got real deep on one conversation. I think it's amazing the work these people do. I had no idea, you know, it's like they hardly say anything, but they ask you the perfect questions, the questions that really make you dig deep and make you find the things that are bothering you that you don't even know are bothering you until you talk about it. And then you just get these. So I left his building one day after we talked about something that I didn't even know was bothering me the way it was. And that was my real breakthrough. I walked out of there and I was just staring at the concrete path, and I looked over into the grass, and I was able to see past the tops of the grass down to the pebbles and the rocks and the grass underneath. And I'd never seen that for so long. And I thought it was weird, and I got goosebumps, and this overwhelming happy feeling went through my body. And I looked up into the jungle, the canopy, and I was able to see so deep into the jungle and hear things that I hadn't heard for so long, and see the different things moving in the jungle, and the butterflies and the bugs. And I looked up through the canopy to the clouds, and I could see the clouds. And for the first time in 14 or 15 years, I'd broken out of this bubble or this tunnel or this depression I was in, and not even knowing I was in it. And you know, today, if I didn't give myself that wake-up call that day in that basement and have myself check into this treatment center and go away to Thailand and really do some soul searching, I'd still be living in that bubble right now, and still living in that depression and leading a poor lifestyle. My takeaway from this video is that if you're living and you feel like there's something missing, you know, you obviously probably weren't living as poorly as I was, but if you still think there's something missing, there probably is. You know, there's past traumas that we never deal with properly. You know, everyone, trauma affects everybody differently. Something that is devastating to me might be nothing to you, right? And it just, we're all different, and we can't just decide that that's not a big deal and I should be able to live normally and fine afterward, because it might be a big deal to you, and you'll never know it until you dig deep enough to try to figure out what those issues are and what's holding you back. So I would say, you know, don't be scared to reach out, get help. Talk to a psychologist, talk to a counselor, talk to that good friend, reach out to me if you know, if there's anything you want to talk about, or if you'd like to learn more about my experiences. This is, like I say, very short form. I'll write a book here in about 10 years, and you'll have to buy that, and it's going to be a long book. But anyway, that's my video for Man Talk Monday and my friend Fabian, and I hope it helps somebody, and thank you.